Today is a fantastic day. We have Mr. Sebastian, the spokesperson of German Embassy with us today, who has traveled around the world and especially focuses on policy matters. And his favorite subject is climate change. And he takes a lot of interest in the Green Social Development Partnership, which in fact has been taken care by the Indian Prime Minister and the German Chancellor. So we would like to know more about it and what is because Germany is the nation which is leading, especially in the social development and the green development. And I'm sure Mr. Sebastian will be able to put a lot of light into it. So, Mr. Sebastian, we would like to know more about, especially on the green sector in which you are working.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a great pleasure and honor to be here in this wonderful, fantastic house, so full of journalists, so full of enthusiasm and of storytelling. So Germany and India, they signed the Green and Sustainable Development Partnership, and this was almost exactly 2 years ago. Every 2 years we have government consultations. So the head of government goes to the other country and brings half of the cabinet. So Prime Minister Modi was in Berlin, and he and Chancellor Scholz signed the GSDP. So this entails that Germany supports India with 1 billion euros a year, roughly, for the next 10 years. So it goes on until 2030 for a green transformation. So we always say that Germany is trying to be India's strongest partner for sustainable development. So this goes in many areas, and we are financing projects, and we're also giving loans. So the German Development Bank, the KfW, they give loans at preferred rates, so India can fulfill and put into action concrete projects.
Okay, you said you are investing 1 billion euro in India on this special project. Which are the specific areas you are focusing, if you mean?
I will name a few. We have green urban mobility. We have a huge project in Bangalore where we try to make traffic more sustainable. We are investing in sustainable forms of transport, in electronic buses. We are financing infrastructure for cycling as well. And another example is green energy. So we have small projects like clean cooking stoves. We are supporting rural development. We support forestation projects, and we support biodiversity. So it means we are also, we are looking at projects that India is having on the agenda anyway. So for Prime Minister Modi, the cleaning the Ganga is a very important project. So we also chip into that. So for us, it's about protecting the nature. It's about biodiversity. It's also about sustainable farming, and that is maybe the point that has the biggest connection to your work. Germany, together with the government of Andhra Pradesh, we opened an agri-ecology center in Andhra almost 3 years ago as well, 1.5 years ago, where we are financing India's efforts in finding new solutions for sustainable farming, for natural farming. Also in Sikkim, we have some projects. So we think that climate change is the one topic where national borders don't play any role anymore, and we all sit in the same boat, right? So that's why we are bringing our experts together, and we are joining forces to tackle climate change in India.
Yeah, I see a lot of technology you are transferring to India to develop this sector. I also heard you do something in Kerala, especially in the water sector. What is all that?
Yeah, that's right. We are financing the water metro in Kochi.
Okay.
So this, I had the pleasure to drive it myself. It's really amazing how Kochi is a city of waters, right? So many rivers connect the different points.
Okay.
And Germany gave a grant for this metro to come into place.
Okay.
So Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the project. We also have, for example, a project in Kochi where we are teaching women who are fish sellers how to drive the bicycle so they can have a more sustainable form of transport to move from A to B. But we always, once a year, our governments also meet for these negotiations to compare notes, and then we ask, so guys, what are you doing? What's your new project? What is important for you? And where can we support you? Where can we chip in? And then the Indian government says, okay, we want to finance the water metro. We want to do a big clean river project. We want to protect the tigers in the Himalayas. So there we can chip in. So we never invent something from the outside because it doesn't make any sense. We always sit together with our Indian long-term partners and friends, and then we see where we can work on green and sustainable solutions together.
Okay, Mr. Sebastian, if I ask you, because we all look at Germany, especially on these green sustainable projects, okay, which is the one fantastic project you think can be example for the whole world to adopt from Germany?
I would say, I mean, Germany was one of the first countries who have done recycling. I would say recycling plays a huge role in Germany, and right now, you know, if you throw a plastic, like a piece of plastic next to a piece of paper, like you get shamed and you get like people get angry and like really emotional. So like it's really in the DNA and in the blood of Germans right now to really recycle and to separate your waste. Okay. And I think, I mean, you have to do it right. Like sometimes it gets mixed up afterwards, and then you know it doesn't make so much sense. But I think that is something where India is. I see many recycling efforts and projects in Gurgaon. I visited a recycling project, but I think it is a good idea because I mean the whole world has a very big garbage problem because we always produce more, we always consume more, and there is like so much plastic. So I think recycling is one good idea that is not a German idea, but I think there like Germany is relatively advanced, and that's I think is an area where we all profit from when we try to recycle more of waste.
Okay, you said every 2 years we have a discussion. So what do you think is the coming meeting will be the major agenda?
It's a good question. It's always hard to predict what the priorities of the Indian government is. I would say when we talk about waste already that cleaning the rivers is really a very important project for the Prime Minister. And I mean, let's see what, you know, elections are coming up, but there is often, if there is waste in the river, it's not good for the ecosystem. The water gets dirty, and also there is like microplastic that goes into the organs of fishes, so that is then also like bad for the animals or like for the human beings even who eat the fish. So it has a lot of repercussions. I think one very important sector is the transport sector, infrastructure. And I mean, when I look around, you know, India has like so many new like airports and bridges and tunnels and streets, and it's amazing. And sometimes I feel in Germany we are almost, you know, getting our infrastructure is getting old, and India is like having these like shiny, like many new projects. And there also, it's important to make it as sustainable as possible, right? So there are a lot of like green buses, for example, that are driving around in Delhi. We are helping the Indian Railways actually, also with the German project, to become more sustainable, to become a greener form of transport, to have less of a CO2 footprint. And I think, I mean, I love taking the train in India. For me, it's my favorite form of transport ever. It's a super, you see so much. So I think that is an area where, you know, we can make a big difference.
Okay, I also would like to know the Indian population in Germany and how they are doing. How is the association between these two communities growing up?
So it's a very lovely development, I think. There are more and more Indians coming to Germany to do many activities. So right now we have 45,000 Indian students that are living in Germany and studying. And this is the biggest number of foreign students in Germany comes from India. Germany is the biggest studying destination for Indians in the whole world. And also in the European Union, Germany is the most popular place for tourism from India. So like most Indians, they really go to Germany. So I think, you know, our knowledge about each other grows, and we are connecting like people, and we are collecting more and more stories. So that is good. And I mean, obviously, you know, it's a very diverse picture. Many Indians go into IT, many Indians go into like the skilled sector. They're doing like more manual work. A lot of them are studying, and sometimes it's also, you know, like in Germany, we had a rough last year, so the development was not so good, but also like worldwide, it was difficult. So you know, like some Indians also might consider going back or finding another job. But by and large, Indian migration to Germany is a big success story, and it's getting bigger every month.
Fantastic. Okay, you have traveled the length and breadth of India.
Little bit.
Yeah. So, what do you love to say to Indians from your perspective?
So, I am really amazed how genuinely people smile at you, and I would say I've seen so many smiles that really like come from the heart, even though I don't know this other person, but it's a genuine openness. I think Indians, like how I perceive many of them, and I've made great friendships here, they're very, very open and they're very curious and they're talkative and they engage, so very easily you can, like, after 2 minutes you talk about like your grandmother's health issues, or you talk about, I don't know, you talk about studies, you talk about heartbreaks, you talk about business, you talk about politics, and it's like, there are no borders to an Indian sort of like conversation, and that is what I really, really appreciate as as a traveler, as somebody who's also curious, that India is a very, very curious and open country, and that makes traveling here and living here very, very special.
Okay. Do you want to convey some message as a diplomat from Germany to Indian population?
So I would say I feel like I'm a kind of Indian little ambassador in Germany or in the world, because many of my friends came here and I was showing them India, and I will make a lot of advertisement when I'm in Germany for India as a traveling destination, as a destination to live, as a destination to invest, as a destination to study also. And so I can just say that I admire the Indians who go abroad and who go into the world. I think the world will become much more Indian in the years to come. Indians have much gained much influence in politics, in business, if you see, also in the US and the UK. And I think what I really admire is the openness, the curiosity, but also the toughness. So I think it's so aspirational, and so many Indians that I've seen, they really fight for their dreams and they really fight for their goals. And I think this is a very useful and also beautiful skill to have in this world.
See, we always think, we know the best of the vehicle we have in India is for German, and the dream vehicles we have is for German. Anything you think of quality, it is for German. And today we have a man who could speak, enlighten us on German. And not only that, you just imagine the green sustainable development project which Germany is supporting India. The areas, huge support, and see the areas. And the one point he said where we can improve is the garbage. I think we have to learn from Germany that. And I'm sure when next time Mr. Sebastian visit India, will be far better.